I can't believe what's happening in Ashbourne right now. NFL scouts are praising one of the most important decisions Adam Peters has made to protect our quarterback of the future. But that's not all, because while some players are getting injured, in the minicamp, there's a veteran emerging as the surprise no one saw coming. And if you thought we were done, let me tell you about a historical revelation that shows this organization has always had an eye for talent. Although sometimes we didn't capitalize on it at the right time. Today, we're going to dissect these 3 explosive news stories shaking up the entire NFC East. And I guarantee that after hearing my analysis, you'll understand why this season is going to be different for us in the DMV. Stay until the end, because I promise these 3 pieces of news will change the way you see the Burgundy and Gold future of this team. Remember when everyone criticized this organization for choosing RG3 over Kirk Cousins in the 2012 draft? Remember all those sleepless nights wondering, what if? Well, it turns out Pro Football Focus just did a redraft of that class. And I tell you this, they picked Kirk Cousins at the 2nd overall, exactly where we had taken Griffin. You're crazy if you think this is a coincidence. But let's dive into what this redraft really means, because there are layers to the story beyond the surface. Pro Football Focus didn't just move Cousins to the 2nd pick. They also put Russell Wilson above Andrew Luck for the Colts. Do you understand what that means? Consistency and durability are being valued over pure explosive talent. Look at the stats. PFF highlighted about Cousins: 11 seasons with a rating over 70 points and 5 seasons above 80 points over his 13-year career. And you know the craziest part? We selected him in the 4th round of the same draft. This organization saw something special in Kirk that 31 other teams didn't see until the 4th round. But here comes the part that gives me goosebumps. Bobby Wagner, our current star linebacker, was also upgraded in this redraft. Originally selected in the 2nd round by Seattle, in this hypothetical redraft, he goes number 3 overall to Minnesota. Do you think it's a coincidence that Wagner is now playing for us and leading our defense under Dan Quinn? The redraft also mentions that Andrew Luck still goes in the 1st round, but to the 4th pick for Cleveland, where PFF suggests they'd be happy with even just 6 seasons of strong quarterback play. And you know what that tells me? Durability matters more than pure talent when it comes to building a franchise. Ryan Tannehill also moved up in this redraft from the 8th pick, where Miami originally took him, to the 5th pick for Tampa Bay. And guess what? Tampa Bay had used that pick on Josh Freeman. Another validation that consistency beats hype. I think this redraft story tells you something profound about our current organization. Adam Peters and Dan Quinn knew exactly what we needed when we selected Jaden Daniels. It wasn't just the explosive athleticism we saw in RG3. It wasn't just the consistency we found in Cousins. It was the perfect combination of both. But do you know what's the most important part of this revelation? It shows that our organization has always had a keen eye for quarterback talent. The problem wasn't our scouting. The problem was that we didn't have the organizational structure, coaching staff, and offensive line to properly develop that talent. Now look at what we have. Dan Quinn, who developed historic defenses in Seattle and Atlanta. Adam Peters, who helped build the San Francisco roster that reached multiple NFC championships. An offensive line that includes Laramie Tunsil. A running game with Brian Robinson Jr. and Austin Eckler. I tell you this, we finally have the complete recipe. If that surprises you, wait until you hear this. While we were all worried about the injuries to Noah Brown and Michael Gallup during the mandatory minicamp, there's a veteran stealing the coach's attention, and I guarantee you didn't see this coming. Chris Moore, a receiver who started the offseason on the margins of the roster, is making moves that could completely change our depth chart. But let me give you context about who Chris Moore really is, because this isn't a story of a nobody who appeared out of nowhere. Moore has 8 years of NFL experience. He has played for Baltimore, Houston, and now Washington. He has seen 91 games in his career with 47 receptions for 500 143 yards and 2 touchdowns. But more important than his stats is his experience on special teams and his reputation as a veteran who never causes problems. Remember when we lost Curtis Samuel and everyone wondered who would be our reliable receiver after Terry McLaurin? Remember the nights worrying about our depth at the position? Turns out the answer might have been in front of us all along. Moore is not only taking advantage of the absences of Brown, Gallup, and McLaurin during the minicamp. He's dominating every opportunity he's given. Here's what really excites me. Our team writer Zach Selby confirmed that Moore could be a superb contingency option if Brown faces extended time off the field. And you know why this is great? Because it shows the depth Adam Peters has built into this roster. But let's delve deeper into the injury situation that opened this opportunity for Moore. Noah Brown was carted off the field after making a reception, and his cries of frustration didn't fill anyone with optimism. We still don't know the results of his MRI because the organization doesn't have to reveal anything at this time of the offseason. Michael Gallup missed the entire minicamp with a hamstring strain. And you know what that means? Suddenly our receiver depth chart looks completely different from what we expected at the start of the offseason. Terry McLaurin remains our WR1, but after him, everything is in the air. Jahan Dotson needs to step up in his third year. Luke McCaffrey, our third round draft pick, is still learning the position after transitioning from quarterback in Colorado. This is where Moore is making his move. According to minicamp reports, he's not only making the catches he should be making, he's showing natural chemistry with Jaden Daniels. And that's critical because we know the development of a rookie quarterback depends heavily on having reliable veterans who know how to find the soft spots in defenses. Moore represents exactly the type of smart veteran Dan Quinn loves to have in his locker room. He's a player who understands his role, isn't going to cause drama, and can contribute on special teams while developing his chemistry with Jaden Daniels. Remember how Anquan Boldin helped develop Lamar Jackson in Baltimore? Moore could be that stabilizing presence for Daniels. Now I ask you this. How many times in recent years have we seen a veteran receiver emerge during the offseason and actually deliver during the regular season? I tell you this, not many. Cam Sims tried. Isaiah Wright had his moments. But we never had the continuity and development we needed. But there's something different in the way. This organization is handling player development under Quinn and Peters. They're giving real opportunities to veterans who understand the game. Instead of just chasing young athletic talent that takes years to develop, the roster situation also favors Moore. If Brown's injury prognosis is encouraging, then Moore probably doesn't make the 53-man roster. But if he continues with these stellar performances during training camp and preseason, I wouldn't be surprised if another team tries to poach him from the practice squad. And you know what that tells me? We finally have the depth and internal competition we need to be a serious team. We're no longer begging marginal players to become contributors. We have real options, but that's nothing compared to what's coming. And here's the bomb we were all waiting for. NFL scouts, executives, and coaches are praising the acquisition of Laramie Tunsil. And when I heard what they said, I almost couldn't believe it. An AFC scout put him in the top 3 tackles in the entire league and confirmed something we fans already knew. Anything we can do to protect Jaden Daniels while he's on his rookie contract is smart. But let's dissect exactly what Jeremy Fowler of ESPN reported. Because every word of this assessment is pure gold for us in the DMV. Fowler spoke with league scouts, executives, and coaches about their favorite off-season moves. And Tunsil turned out to be one of the most confidence-inspiring. Let me read you exactly what they said. While teams we spoke with had mixed reviews on the Deebo Samuel Sr. trade due to perceptions of a declining skill set, most were fully in favor of Tunsil. Do you understand what that means? While other teams are making questionable moves, we made the right move. Now the AFC scout was specific. He's still a top 3 tackle for me. And anything you can do to protect Jaden Daniels and load the roster while he's on his rookie contract is smart. They gave a bit more than I would have liked, but I trust the P general manager Adam Peters that he knows what he's doing here. Did you hear that? I trust a P, a scout who has evaluated talent for years, who has seen countless good and bad trades, says they trust Adam Peters. That's no coincidence. That's earned respect. Let me put this into historical perspective. After years of watching our quarterbacks run for their lives behind offensive lines that seem like revolving doors, we finally have a left tackle that ESPN describes as part of the shortlist in a premier position. Do you remember Robert Griffin III running for his life? Kirk Cousins getting constantly hit? Carson Wentz being demolished? Taylor Heinicke showing heart but being physically punished? That's over. With Tunsil protecting Jaden's blind side, we're talking about an entirely different level of protection. And we're not just talking about a good player. We're talking about a player that other NFL professionals consider top 3 in his position. Look, I know some of you are worried about Tunsil's penalties and how Houston's offensive line struggled last year. ESPN was honest about this. Though Tunsil is an imperfect player, he battles penalties. And the Houston Texans offensive line struggled overall in 2024. He's on the short list in a premier position. But here's what an NFL coordinator told Fowler, and this is key. They think Tunsil sometimes gets bored and loses focus, but the opportunity to protect Daniels, play for Dan Quinn, and help take us over the Philadelphia Eagles will be enough. To hold his attention, Doc, do you understand what that means? Tunsil's problem isn't talent. It isn't skill. It's motivation. And now he has every reason in the world to be motivated. Protect a special rookie quarterback. Play for a respected coach like Quinn. And compete in a division where every game matters. And you know what's most incredible about all of this? Adam Peters paid a little more than some expected. But as that AFC scout said, I trust a P that he knows what he's doing here. That's Burgundy and Gold, baby. Let me explain why this acquisition is historic for us on multiple levels. First, the timing. Peters made this trade knowing exactly what Jaden Daniels needs to develop. He didn't wait till it was too late. He didn't wait till Jaden was getting hit in his first season. He was proactive. Second, the position. Left. Tackle is literally the second most important position in football after quarterback. It's the position that protects the quarterback's blind side. It's the difference between a clean pocket and a quarterback running for their life. Third, the window of opportunity. As that scout mentioned, making these moves while Daniels is on his rookie contract is smart. We have salary cap flexibility now that we won't have in 3 to 4 years when we need to pay Jaden. But there's a fourth reason why this trade is great, and it's what excites me the most. It sends a message to Jaden, to the other players, to the whole league, that we are serious about building something special here, that we won't skimp on resources to protect our franchise quarterback. For years, the problem wasn't just finding a quarterback. It was keeping him healthy and giving him the tools to succeed. Carson Wentz came here already battered by years of poor protection in Philadelphia. Taylor Heinicke showed heart but never had the offensive line he needed. Sam Howell had promising moments but was sacked too many times. But now with Tunsil. At left tackle, Sam calls me improving at right tackle, Tyler Biadace solid at center. And the rest of the line Peters has built. Jaden is going to have the clean time he needs to develop his chemistry with Terry McLaurin, Chris Moore, Luke McCaffrey, and the rest of the receiver group. And you know what else I love about this trade? The reaction from the division. The Cowboys are dealing with salary cap issues while Jerry Jones continues to make questionable decisions about their offensive line. The Eagles think they can keep their window open with Jalen Hurts, but their offensive line is aging. The Giants are still trying to solve both their quarterback situation and their protection. Here we are with last season's Rookie of the Year protected by one of the best tackles in the league, with Brian Robinson Jr. and Austin Eckler in the backfield to complement the running game, with Terry McLaurin entering his prime years as a receiver. With a defense led by Bobby Wagner and built by Dan Quinn, I think this acquisition will be seen as the moment this organization, truly committed to doing everything necessary to maximize Jaden Daniels' talent. Because here in the DMV, we've suffered a lot, but we finally have an organization doing things right from the front office to the coaching staff to player development. So there you have it. Historical validation proving we've always had an eye for quarterback talent. Secret weapons emerging at the perfect moment when we need them. An elite protection for our franchise quarterback that has the whole league talking. These three pieces of news tell me that Adam Peters and Dan Quinn aren't playing games this season. They're building something special here in the DMV, and I can feel that this is going to be the season that changes everything for us. The 2012 redraft reminds us we were right about Kirk Cousins and that we're right about Jaden Daniels. Chris Moore shows us the depth of this roster is real, and we have veterans ready to contribute when we need them. And Laramie Tunsil confirms we finally have an organization committed to protecting and developing our quarterback of the future. Do you think Tunsil is going to be the difference we need to take Jaden to the next level? Does Chris Moore really have what it takes to be our breakout receiver this season? And does this redraft make you feel better or worse about this organization's historical quarterback decisions? I guarantee you that tomorrow we're going to have more explosive news about these Commanders, and you don't want to miss what's coming. Because this organization is making moves that will define the next 5 years of football in the DMV. Like if you think Peters is building something special that will dominate the NFC East, subscribe if you think this is going to be the season. That changes everything for us in the DMV. And turn on notifications because every day we have exclusive analysis you won't find anywhere else. Let me know in the comments which of these three news stories has you most excited for the season, and why you think this is the year we finally surpass the Eagles and Cowboys. Because this is more than a YouTube channel. This is a family of fans who suffered together for decades and are now going to celebrate together. When we win the NFC East, join this Burgundy and Gold community because the best is yet to come. And together we're going to watch Jaden Daniels become the quarterback this city deserves.